Hello, Igniting Faith family. I wanted to jump on here because I got a question. And the question the individual asked me was, how do I know if I'm doing God's will for my business? And this is it's a great question. And I want to pose a question back to that. And that is, how do you know you have made the right purchase or gift for your spouse for the holidays, for Valentine's Days, for birthday? Well, the answer to that is because you're in the presence of your spouse. You get to know them intimately. You're engaging in conversations. You ask them questions. You recognize their voice when they're in the other room. They're saying, "Hey, I think I want this for Christmas," or "I want this for my birthday," right? You know them, you're in relationship with them, and you're being present with them. However, what I will say too is, do we always get that right? Is the gift always perfect? No, sometimes it's the wrong color, it's the wrong size. And the beauty of it is grace. That grace covers it, right? So when you're first dating your soon to be spouse, right? When you're first in that relationship, it's probably more challenging than once you get to know them and you're in relationship to purchase that perfect Christmas or Valentine or birthday gift, right? And it really boils down to you being in an intimate relationship, being in their present, engaging with them, and asking conversation. And that is the desire for our Father, is to know them intimately, to not just hear his voice, but make his voice the loudest voice in your life. We live in a culture that is filled with distractions, that's vying for our attention, that breeds comparison, right? But when we recognize and amplify God's voice in our life, we have peace. His voice is peace that surpasses all understanding. So that is one way, probably the most important way that you're going to be able to address that question. How do I know if I'm doing God's will? Is because you're going to be able to be in relationship and confidently recognize his voice. And the second way is by the fruits. And is the thing that you're doing producing fruit? And I think we also have to define what fruit is too, right? Some people are called to build billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar businesses. Others are not. So financial fruit is just one way. But, another way is the transformation that you're delivering with people. Is it remarkable? Are they experiencing joy and freedom? Are they getting the kinds of transformation that you have stated that your solution brings? So that's the second way. And what I kind of want to just wrap this into is, because I can speak to about yielding and abiding and surrendering to the Lord. But when I started this journey, I didn't have the spiritual maturity to understand or use that language, right? So I kind of want to put this in a context that I feel like all of us can understand. And what I now know, reflecting on my journey, is that the ability to recognize the Father's voice consistently and confidently allows one to think with Jesus consistently and confidently, so you experience this domino effect. So we have to ask a better question. Well, okay, Brandy, how do we think with Jesus consistently to experience that peace and understanding and recognizing his voice? Well, it boils down to faith habits. Building faith habits. And just like when you go to the gym, you don't immediately set out and have a personal record of benching 300 pounds, right? You go in there and you start where your faith will allow you, with maybe 5-pound dumbbells. And then next week, maybe it's 10. And 4 months later, maybe you're doing 30 pounds, and it builds. You have to be in the gym of building faith habits. You have to be in the gym of thinking with Jesus consistently. That's why I developed Think with Jesus mentorship community. It is a gym to flex that faith muscle. And just like the small habits in the gym build up to you being able to have this personal record, we have to do that in our faith walk. And I am getting ready to launch Igniting Faith Challenge, where we will focus on habits. Focus on the habits that build the domino of thinking with Jesus consistently. And those habits we're going to unpack on Wednesday, February 1st at a live Zoom call. And then over the course of the next 3 weeks, we will be walking together in community to hold each other accountable and support one another as we build these faith habits so that we're consistently thinking with Jesus. And I would just invite you into that free Igniting Faith Challenge. I'll have the link below, so go ahead and click it, share it as the Holy Spirit leads. But I hope this has addressed your question about how do I know if I'm doing God's will? And if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd love to get those addressed. Thank you.